quality drink mix at an affordable price. Rasna drink mix. With over 5 delicious flavors to choose from, a 25-gram pack makes up to 1 liter of drink. There is no need to add sugar. Unlike other drink mixes, Rasna is made with all natural flavors and is low in sugar. It also contains 5 essential daily vitamins and minerals. Rasna drink mix is available nationwide. For more information, call us on 233-2473. Rasna, endorsed by celebrities.
Hello and welcome to today's News at Noon that comes to you with the compliments of Rasna Drink Mix. Kevin Smith here with your News at Noon. Judicial says ruling on Exxon's Liza permit sets precedent. Guyana sets new record, oil discovery record, now the largest new conventional liquids play in the last decade. Meanwhile, Newscast had sent parking failed to protect Guyanese interests, issued lands without receiving full payment. And in the Nisa Gopal case, lawyers claim prejudicial evidence led to conviction. Meanwhile, Gaskin still hopeful for judicial review of Stabroek Block. And now for the news in detail. Darshanand Kusial of the Oil and Gas Governance Network has hailed the recent ruling in the High Court on the legal duration for Guyana's ExxonMobil's Liza Phase 1 permit as a good step and an indication that Guyanese can make real positive changes. The challenge was brought against the environmental permit by former president of Transparency Institute Guyana, Dr. Troy Thomas, as the permit granted several years ago was for a duration of 24 years, when the law only allows for 5. The order, granted by Justice Joanne Barlow, has effectively reduced Exxon's environmental permit to the correct period prescribed by law. He noted that there are other laws that have been broken when it comes to the management of Guyana's oil industry, and that this court ruling should be taken as a victory, a good signal. Meanwhile, the Yellowtail 2 and Redtail discoveries were made in July and September respectively, and they've pushed Guyana's recoverable estimate to approximately 9 billion oil equivalent resources. In light of this, Guyana is now the largest new conventional liquids play in the last decade, so said Senior Vice President at ExxonMobil Jack Williams. Williams recalled that the Yellowtail 2 well had encountered 6 to 9 feet of net pay in a newly identified high-quality oil-bearing reservoir among the original Yellowtail 1 discovery intervals in the Stabroek Block. He said it also serves as ExxonMobil's 17th oil discovery in the block. In other news, Newscast CEO Colvin Heath London was yesterday sent packing with immediate effect, thereby bringing an end to his 2-year employment under the agency. In a letter to Heath London from the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal, it was stated that the Newscast head had failed to protect the best interests of the agency, thereby costing the government to lose billions in investments. Nandlal flagged Heath London for the issuance of approximately 14 agreements of sale and lease for Newscast land located at Ogle, east coast of Marara, and the subsequent vesting of 7 tracts of lands without ensuring that full payment was received for those lands in accordance with terms of relevant agreement. In other news, lawyers arguing on behalf of Bibi Sharima Gopal and her former lover Jarvis Small have raised contentions over what they term as prejudicial evidence led in the trial against them convicted for the murder of Nisa Gopal. Bibi Gopal and Small have been notoriously linked to the gruesome killing of the 15-year-old Queen's College student, whose partially decomposed body was found in a suitcase submerged in a creek along the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. The body was discovered days after the teen was reported missing. The dead teen's mother and stepfather, Small, were arrested, tried and sentenced to a combined 202 years by High Court Judge Navindra Singh for the murder. However, the case, which is regarded amongst the most widely publicized in recent years, has become the subject of an appeal. And moving on, Raman Gaskin says that a judicial review of the PSA governing ExxonMobil Stabroek Block operations is necessary and that he is still hopeful that it could happen. Gaskin had first advocated for a judicial review of the controversial 2016 agreement late last year after identifying a series of provisions he determined to be illegal. Gaskin is of the view that once the court determines certain provisions to be in conflict with the law, it can strike them down and force ExxonMobil to come to the table to renegotiate those specific clauses. The contract was signed by former Minister of Natural Resources, Raffle Trotman. You are tuning to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM, and this is your news at noon. Coming up after the break, Guyana man died from hemorrhage and shock, says the post-mortem. Canadian High Commissioner Chatterjee leaving for Barbados, and in your COVID-19 update, Health Ministry approves conditional opening for schools in new COVID-19 measures. Do stay tuned.
Hey, have you missed our newscasts during the week? Well, we've made it easy for you to get back on track. Join us every Sunday at 10 a.m. for The Week in Review. Let's have a rundown of all the stories that took top place last week, shall we? The Week in Review every Sunday at 10 a.m. on Kaieteur Radio.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. A 35-year-old man, Kamal Wilson, who was on Monday ambushed and chopped to death by his own relative at Kobana Village, Northwest District, died of hemorrhage and shock due to multiple incised wounds. This was confirmed on Thursday by government pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh at the Kamaka District Hospital mortuary, who performed a post-mortem. According to the police report, the incident occurred at around 19 hours 30. It is unclear as to why the suspect would want to murder Wilson, since the two reportedly never had any grievances prior to the incident. Wilson's father told police that the suspect walked up to his son with a cutlass without any explanation and began chopping him repeatedly to his head, neck, and shoulder. The man added that his son started to scream for help and managed to run into the house, shutting the door behind him, while the suspect escaped. In other news, Canadian High Commissioner Lillian Chatterjee has been appointed as the new High Commissioner for Barbados. This appointment was made yesterday by Canadian Foreign Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne. Several other new diplomatic appointments were also made during the announcement. Chatterjee was accredited as Canadian High Commissioner to Guyana in September 2017. She was one of the envoys that played an important role during the March 2, 2020 elections in calling for adherence to democratic principles and rule of law in the aftermath of the polls. It is now 12 hours 10, time for your COVID-19 update. The number of worldwide coronavirus cases, according to Worldometer, has reached 46,097,002, with deaths at 1,196,713. Recovery cases has reached 33,356,819. The Ministry of Health has provided for the conditional opening of schools in the newly gazetted COVID-19 measures for the month of November. Schools will be allowed to open for 2021 C-Second Cape students, given that all necessary guidelines mandated by the Health Ministry are implemented, the decreased risk of the virus being transmitted in school. In the new Gazette, the curfew was also moved from 9 p.m. to 4 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. to 4 a.m. Gyms were also given the green light for opening. However, a 50% capacity must be kept to ensure social distancing. It was stated that the owners will be responsible for ensuring compliance, and if they are found to be non-compliant with their establishments will be subjected to closure. Restaurants with outdoor dining, delivery services, or curbside pickup, gas stations, postal and shipping services, salons and barbershops, automotive repair shops, and clothes, shoes and bookstores can now operate from 4 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Strict restrictions on indoor dining, social gatherings, and opening of rum shops and bars remain. The gazetted measures will be in effect from November 1st to November 30th. And coming from CNN, the U.S. has surpassed 9 million coronavirus cases. The country has reported 91,744 COVID-19 cases so far on Friday, that is yesterday, the highest single-day total in the country yet. Meanwhile, an influential model of the coronavirus pandemic has predicted 399,000 total coronavirus deaths in the U.S. by February 1st. Europe has once again become the epicenter of the global pandemic, according to the World Health Organization. France begins a 4-week lockdown today, and Germany's new restrictions begin next week. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. Remember, the news came to you with the compliments of Rasna Drink Mix. I am Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Now available, a superior quality drink mix at an affordable price. Rasna Drink Mix. With over 5 delicious flavors to choose from, a 25-gram pack makes up to 1 liter of drink. There is no need to add sugar. Unlike other drink mixes, Rasna is made with all natural flavors and is low in sugar. It also contains 5 essential daily vitamins and minerals. Rasna Drink Mix is available nationwide. For more information, call us on 233-2473. Rasna, endorsed by celebrities.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's News.